Hi, I'm Jesse Jaramillo, General Manager of Antioch Ford, and welcome to another episode of Kunes Car Convos. Today we'll be driving with Kris Schoenberger from Station 51 here in Antioch, also has BBQ Productions in the Lake County area. And we'll be driving around in a 2024 Ford Raptor Bronco. So Kris, tell me a little bit about how you got into. Let's start here. You grew up in Lake County?
Yeah, Round Lake Beach, born and raised.
Born and raised Round Lake Beach.
Yep.
Okay. So you went to high school there. I know you went to Carmel, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to Round Lake grade schools, then went to Carmel High School.
Awesome. And I guess at what point maybe in your life did you kind of just figure out that the restaurant or the food industry is something that you kind of wanted to get into?
So I've always enjoyed cooking. And I guess at some point in my early younger years, I actually found this out from a first grade teacher of mine. My first grade teacher, that she found an old homework assignment of mine that she shared with me.
Really?
And there was something on it. It was like a question like, what do you want to be when you grow up or whatever. And when I was in first grade, I wrote on some assignment that she still had that said I want to own 5 restaurants.
That's pretty cool.
It's so
At
crazy.
First grade?
Yeah, because
Do you remember your teacher's name?
Yeah, Miss Asmus, Sharon Asmus. So I still talk to my first grade teacher, my second grade teacher, my third and fourth grade teacher. 5th grade, I had like an REI class, so I only talked to, I think, like 2. I still talked to my 6th grade teacher, Mr. Rummel. So yeah, I still talk to a lot of my high school teachers, so they're all pretty influential in my life. But I was just cooking for a friend at a party, and I was cooking for my friends at my house at a party, and a friend of mine asked me, if I enjoyed cooking, and I'm like, oh yeah, and he's like, hey, I'm getting married, you want to cook for our wedding?
Yeah.
Like, sure, I'll do it. Not really realizing what I just agreed to.
Right. Realizing how many people were going to be there.
I knew nothing, like literally nothing. So I thought it was a joke until I realized that no, it wasn't a joke. It was legit. And so I was like, yeah, I'll do it definitely, and we'll figure it out.
That's awesome.
And then I ended up calling my brother, and I was like, hey, I just agreed to cook for Taylor's wedding. I need your help. And he's like, what do you know about cooking for a wedding? I'm like, I'm like, I don't, but I said I need your help. I need to figure it out because I just have a little grill. And he goes, you're an idiot. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't, I like challenges. So we ended up doing the wedding. It was 250 people.
Wow.
And it was...
Your first event was 250 people.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I cooked for friends and family at the house.
Of course.
I always cooked to my mom, and, it was just a hobby that I like to do. And the wedding went off without a hitch. People were asking for my business card because they wanted to hire me for an event. And at the time, I was working for the cable company.
Okay.
And so I had my business card that said Comcast, Comcast sales. So I started giving it out, and writing on the back says, for food, call me. And next thing you know, there's this girl that lived in Gurnee. One of the items I made, which is on my menu to this day, is our deep fried pizza rolls. She would call me like on a monthly basis and order like a bulk stack of my pizza rolls, and I would deliver them to Gurnee from that wedding. And then it just started slowly transpiring into, other things. And I had a job while I was working the cable company. I also got a job with the local police department. I was a community service officer. And I did that for a couple of years, and then I ended up getting laid off due to a union issue. And so I took my pension and I cashed it out, which I didn't have a lot in there, but I had enough.
Yep.
And my mom's like, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And at that time, she was from New York, and she came up with the idea of, let's do a soft serve ice cream truck. And the soft serve ice cream truck, she was right from Mark. She was a kid who was called Mr. Softy. Well, our health department shot that idea down. So she's like, well, why don't you just go full-fledged into a catering company? She's like, you already did Taylor's wedding. You got people calling you. And I was like, because nobody uses caterers these days. She's like, everybody uses caterers. And so we jumped in feet first. We started doing events and, advertising. I started getting into doing like street festivals.
Yep.
My first street festival was in Chicago. Never done one before in my life. So again, never did a catering. I jumped in feet first with Taylor's wedding. Then I said, hey, I'm going to do a street festival. And I do this street festival in Chicago in Lincoln Park. And I still have the picture of that day. I did burgers, bratwurst, hot dogs. I did something called slinky fries, which I don't even know the hell I came for that name. It's stupid. And like you can still see the pictures on my Facebook that of that event. I'm like, I had a stack of like 150 things high of bread, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna definitely go through this. It was a complete bust. I had all this food left. So I was like, man,
What year was that?
Oh God, we're thinking 2006, 2007, maybe 2008, sometime right around there.
Okay.
Definitely had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
But man,
But you figured it out.
I did. I mean, I think at that event I probably had an extra 10 grand worth of food because that's how much stuff I bought. But again, I learned a lot. I did a lot. And then slowly, just that stuff was going on. I guess I was working in the police department while all this was kind of going on before I got laid off. And then once I got laid off, I took my pension, and my mom was like, well, why don't you open up a facility where you can do your catering at instead of doing it at your house?
Yeah. And that's how Third Lake came in?
And that's where Third Lake came in. So we found Third Lake. We looked at a couple other places before then, but nobody would give me a shot. Nobody would give me a lease because I had no experience. I knew nothing. I worked for the cable company, and my landlords, Jim and Joe Pasolino, they gave me a shot. And I later found out that they gave me a really good deal on the rent, which was $3,000. They gave me a really good deal on the rent because they knew that I wouldn't make it more than 3 years.
They knew that you wouldn't?
They knew that I would not.
Really?
They knew that I would not make it 3 years, so they gave me a really good deal on the rent to even try to give me that percentage of a chance of being in it. Because they're like, you have no experience, you've never been in the industry,
right.
You've never had a commercial lease, you've never done anything commercially, like you're not gonna make, and I can see where they're coming from,
Sure. But isn't it incredible how sometimes we just come across these people that just give you a chance, it kind of set you up for success, right? And they're helping out those small business owners or because it's what makes the community tick,
It is, and I tell you, they taught me a lot. Within, I think 7 months of us opening up our doors, we already had to kind of expand the restaurant because our restaurant was so small. Because again, it was a catering facility.
Right.
We didn't decide to open up a restaurant until like a week before, and my mom was like, "Oh, hey, why don't we open up a restaurant?" I was like, you have no clue what you're doing. I have no clue what I'm doing. How are we gonna do this? And she's like, oh, I ran a cafeteria at Kmart. I'm like, running a cafeteria? I'm like, yeah, running a cafeteria at Kmart and a restaurant are two separate things. But we did it. We jumped in. We decided to do it. She made all the sides. I made all the meats. Our original menu when we opened BBQ Productions was like burgers, brats, hot dogs, Philly cheesesteaks.
Yep.
Slinky fries. We didn't call them slinky fries. We called them just fries. And that was our first menu when we first opened. And my mom had some sides that she made, and it was a good success. But the first night we opened, everyone's like, "Well, where's the barbecue?" I'm like, "There's no barbecue." They're like, "Why is it called BBQ Productions?" I'm like, well, because we create backyard barbecues. So we produce barbecues, BBQ Productions. People are like, that's stupid. You should have barbecue. And so at the end of the night, my mom's like, hey, we might want to think about doing some barbecue. And I'm like, well, I don't have a clue how to do it. Do you? She's like, no. And I'm like, I'll go to Google. I'll go to YouTube. And I started watching. And again, even from when I first started to now, like, obviously I've learned a lot. I've tweaked a lot. I've taken a lot of classes. I became friends with a lot of people in the industry, and constantly getting better. Even to this day, we're our 10-year, just celebrated our 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations, that's awesome, dude.
Thank you. And we're still making tweaks and still trying to get better. And I don't ever claim to know all the answers. And I don't ever claim to be the best, because I think once you say you're the best, that means you can never get better.
I like that.
And I'm always striving to be better.
Yep.
I think the thing that's cool about barbecue is that there can be a lot of great places. There's so many different variations. It's about seasonings and flavors and spices and smoke, and there's different styles. There's Memphis style, there's Kansas City style, there's Texas style. So not one place is the best, because there's so many other variations and versions that you can do it. So, like I have barbecue sauce that I enjoy. I have barbecue sauce that I don't enjoy.
Sure.
I have barbecue sauce out in the world that I enjoy that's not mine.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a different type, it's a different flavor. So anyways, but the night that we opened, we did great. We sold out. And my mom's like, we might want to consider doing barbecue. I was like, all right, well, you go home. I'm going to go home. You start writing down the recipes for the sides, because if something happens and you can't come in, I want to be able to write, I want to be able to do it. And I'm going to figure out how to do this meat thing and what we can meet tomorrow. So the next day next day I came in, I'm working the restaurant. She never showed up. And I'm like, all right, maybe she just got her, it was a lot of work the day before.
Yeah.
She stayed at home. I know she said she had an earache, and that earache, she was going to go see the doctor. So I was like, oh, whatever. Well, at the end of the night, and the other thing that's crazy is that my wife and I were supposed to do an event that weekend in McHenry called Fiesta Days.
Yeah, big event.
Yep. And at the last minute, I decided to pull out, and I didn't go. And I said, we're going to focus on the restaurant because it's going good. We need to focus on that, not this festival. So we ended up pulling out of that festival. And that night, I looked at my wife and I'm like, hey, have you heard? We called my mom Dude because she was like one of the nudes. And so I was like, have you heard from...
She sounds amazing.
She was awesome. And so I was like, have you heard from Dude today? She's like, no, neither have I. So we decided to drive over and check on her. We went to her house, and unfortunately my mom had passed away.
We're sorry to hear that.
It was a very hard time. She had something called sepsis, and the sepsis attacked her overnight, attacked her organs. And when I found her, she was alive, barely. But I tried CPR. Yeah. I ended up calling 911, and the first person who showed up was one of my best friends. He's a police officer, Brandon Golfer, and Brandon's an amazing guy, and he helped me, and we tried, but I knew all the tones and what the different tones were from the paramedics. Yeah. And I knew it wasn't good, and so she ended up passing away within 24 hours. Man. And so before she had passed, back when we were talking about how we were going to do this in the industry, how we were going to make a restaurant, how we were going to do all this stuff, and she just said, come on, I'm going to help you. And if you remember correctly, I said, how are you going to help me? She's like, well, I ran a cafeteria caterer. Like, that's not the same thing, but I learned that I think God does things in unique ways and mysterious ways. Yeah. And if you ask me, the only way that I can ever say of how somebody with no experience got a chance from Jim and Joe, who did a wedding for Taylor, his best friend Brandon shows up the day that his mom passed away. These are all like little angels that came to me to bring me to where I'm at today. Yeah. And I think my mom's helping me, just like she said, because there's nothing else I can explain of how you go from 0 to 5. We just bought 6 in Lake Zurich in less than 10 years.
6 restaurants. Obviously, your mom had a huge, part of that, an influential part. And you've talked about the relationships that you've been able to cultivate, and people, whether they're teachers by name, friends. I know that you're big with, obviously the black and blue, and Station 51 is themed. It's with firefighter themed. Yep. You said you got 6 restaurants now, right?
Five in operation. We just bought 6. We're trying to figure out what we're gonna do with the number 6. Obviously, things are a little tough right now in the economy, and so we're kind of just taking a step back. We're evaluating some things. I can tell you that as much as I love what I do, it's also very, very stressful. Yeah. There's days where I want to quit. There's days where I recorded myself one day driving home from Lake Zurich, and the whole ride home was just me bawling because the stress level. Yeah. People, they don't get it. Yep. Like the hospitality industry, people are mean. People call me names. People wish for my failure. I still have a text message on my phone from a guy that told me at my Lake Zurich store, which we just celebrated our 7 years there, but told me that I'll never make it in this industry because I don't know what I'm doing. And I still have the text message because I use it as ammo. But
yeah, probably look at it every now and then.
I do.
Said, but use it as ammo.
I use that. I recorded myself driving home that one day in tears because I said, I never want to get to this point ever again. Yeah. I never want to get to this low point. And there's all these stories of celebrity chefs, and you'll get Robin Williams who committed suicide, and you never know what someone's going through. Right. And I think this world is just full of so much hate towards other people. I think social media has done that to all of us. COVID has changed things, and I like to try to take what I do in my business and try to make someone's day, whether it be we just recently had a kid in Antioch who's turned, I forgot how old he turned, I think 7 or 8, and nobody showed up for his birthday party, or nobody responded to his birthday party.
Yeah.
So we threw a birthday party for him at Station 51, and I don't know if
really
you've seen the picture. And so we bought gifts for him, and every single server at the end brought him a gift, and the final gift was a PS5. And like,
that's amazing.
This guy got me again, because this is what's cool about what we do in this industry. Like, I can't do those things
Right.
if I don't have my business.
Sure.
And those are the things that I enjoy doing. We have a red envelope program where we can,
I was just about to ask you about the red envelope.
yeah, our red envelope program.
Because you give back so much. I know you give back. I follow you obviously on social media. We've known each other for a long time.
Yep.
You've been buying cars from us for a long time, and just being part of the community. And tell me more about this red envelope. How did you even come up with this idea?
So I'd be a liar if I told you I came up with it on my own.
Okay.
In one of my classes that I go to, and I have a really good restaurant coach, David Scott Peters. He owned a company called The Restaurant Expert. Now he has another company that he owns. And so he's been one of my biggest people that have really taught me in the industry.
Sure.
He's taught me the math equation of the industry. And so I believe it was one of his classes, and the original place, and I don't remember how I got to it or how we came up with it, but the original place was, I think, called Bennigan's.
Yeah, okay, I remember
And
Bennigan.
I think Bennigan's is the one who originally came up with this thing, and I took it and I just obviously made it into my own. Like,
Sure.
my first year was a little different than obviously where I'm at now, but we give back $100,000 every year
$100,000.
back to our customers in prizes and discounts and promotional items. And this is our 10-year anniversary, so this is our over $1 million that we've given back to our customers. And so, the thing
That's
the thing that I always tell people is, like, listen, we're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We're never going to be perfect. The perfect restaurant doesn't exist. Everybody makes mistakes.
Sure.
Even me as the owner, I still burn food. I still undercook food. It happens. Like I've gone to steakhouses and my steak's been undercooked. I went to a restaurant the other day and I ordered shrimp and it came out raw. Like, but I'm not going to belittle the people. It's a mistake. Mistakes happen. Like,
Right.
If my wife burns the cookies, I'm not going to divorce her. But there's people out there that if you serve them a burnt cheeseburger, they'll divorce you and never come back to your restaurant ever again.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like, I want people to know that, listen, whether we're not perfect, we make mistakes, we are good people.
Right.
We're a good business to support. We're a good restaurant to support. And we give back. I think the biggest thing that really brought attention to my eyes is like McDonald's. McDonald's does this thing where they do this promotion where you play Monopoly.
Yeah. Yep.
I know you've played it.
Yeah.
I'm sure, because it's been around forever.
You're a kid, like, when you want to collect all the stickers
Yes.
and put it on the board.
And we're always looking for either Boardwalk or Park
Park
Place.
Place, yeah.
But we never get it. Tell me, in your lifetime, have you ever met anybody who's gotten that?
I've gotten Park Place a few times.
But have you ever gotten Boardwalk?
No, never.
Have you ever met anybody who's gotten Boardwalk?
Never.
So with my promotion, the people that are in the restaurant have won the grand prizes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've given away a motorcycle 3 times. I know the people who've won the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Last year we gave away a Louis Vuitton purse.
Louis Vuitton purse.
A Louis Vuitton purse. My friend Duncan won it.
That's crazy.
He's single, so it's kind of funny.
My wife wanted one that was like this big, and it's
Yeah.
like $3,000 or
Yeah,
something crazy.
the purse was like $4,000.
Yeah, wow.
So, the people that come to our restaurant are the people who win.
Yeah.
We hand out X amount of envelopes, so it's 5,300 envelopes that we hand out.
5,300?
5,300, 500 of them are like all the miscellaneous prizes. Every envelope is a winner. So it ranges from like $5 off, $10 off, 100% off. There's some of those.
Okay.
50% off. There's free barbecue sauce bottles, free dessert.
That's awesome.
But within the last 2 years, last year's our first year we're doing it, we changed it to where you're chasing the golden ticket like a Willy Wonka.
Okay.
Because you open the chocolate bar and you're looking for that golden ticket.
Yeah,
Well, now you're opening your envelope and you're looking for that golden ticket.
that's awesome.
And so the golden ticket gets you to our golden ticket dinner that we do at one of our places, the Lehman Mansion in Lake Villa. And at the Lehman Mansion, we do a golden ticket dinner where in March, we give away all of our grand prizes that we used to run in the envelope. So like, we do 10 PS5s, we do 10 TVs, 10 smokers, all these different prizes. But the problem is we hand these envelopes out,
Yep.
and while we hand out 5,300, we maybe get 2,500 to 3,000 back.
Come on.
People either lose them, they throw them away, they don't come back, whatever it is. So we changed it up 2 years ago to where we do the golden ticket dinner, and now all of the grand prizes get given away.
That's awesome.
And so last year was our first year, and I gotta tell you, it was literally the coolest thing that we've ever done.
That's awesome.
Like, if you play this game, you want the golden ticket.
Yeah.
Because you take the story that I told you about the kid with the PS5,
Yep.
times that by however many people show up. That's the memory that I create.
That's awesome.
And so I knew last year, you know, I think one of the fun things was when I went to Best Buy and I bought all this stuff to give away, you know, TVs and smokers,
Yeah.
iPads, Apple Watches, AirPods. And so it was funny. I went up to the cash register and somebody says, "What are you buying this all for?" And I said, "Oh, I'm giving it away." They're like, "To who?" I was like, "Well, I own restaurants. I'm giving it to my customers." "You are?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "What restaurant? We're coming." And so I started telling them promotion. They're like, "Holy cow, that's really cool. Like, I've never seen something like that." So the golden ticket dinner last year was incredible. And after everything was said and done, everything was over, it was really the coolest thing is like every person who was there came and gave me a hug and said thank you.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
it was the biggest,
How could you
like
not?
all of those moments of the people that talk crap and say bad things and say, you know, that we're a terrible restaurant because we burnt the brisket or we whatever.
Right.
That moment right there makes up for it. And so this year, like I said, is our $1 million. We've given away over $1 million. Me and two of my employees, we were at a food show event a couple months ago by Reinhardt Foods, and Reinhardt was thanking their customers by at this food show. They were giving back and doing a raffle that you can win a side-by-side, 2 snowmobiles, or 2 wave runners. And I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, as I dig more into it, you have to go to these different food vendors and you have to collect these little tokens. And then at the end of the day, you take those tokens and you get to go roll these dice.
Okay.
And there were 6 dice and you had to roll them all at the same time
Yep.
to spell out the word winner.
W-I. Yep.
W-I-N-N-E-R.
Yep.
So I had like 27 tokens. I'm like, oh, I got this in the bag.
Yeah.
Well, no, you have to spell out winner all at the same time. You don't, like if you get W-I-N, you don't get to keep those and try to now get
Oh, and then
any.
try to re-roll.
Yeah, you have to roll all 6 at the same time to spell winner. So we asked, what's the odds of winning? 1 in 66,000. So I cut a video right away with my marketing team. People were with me. We have a social media team and a marketing team. I was like, cut a video. So they start recording me, and I'm like, listen, here I am as a small business owner. We're at a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
Worldwide. Here's what they're doing, and it comes to find out you have a 1 in 66,000 chance of winning.
Right.
But it's done by an insurance company.
Right.
So if you win, an insurance company pays this out, not the actual company. So me and my manager, we literally looked at each other and we're like, this is what we're doing this year. So this year, our grand prize is you get a choice, just like you did there, of a side-by-side, a single snowmobile, because they're very expensive, or a single wave runner. So that's our grand prize this year.
That's awesome.
So I'm really excited for it. We are actually going to buy one and give that, you know, so like if you win the grand prize, you'll actually get to walk away with one of those at the golden ticket dinner. But then everybody who goes to the golden ticket dinner, they also get a grand prize. Obviously
Amazing.
not as expensive as that.
Sure, yeah.
But still, it's so much fun. We're really excited about it. The buzz around, you know, the restaurants is, you know, we just launched it on the 1st of November. Normally it starts on Black Friday. And so when you start collecting your envelopes, this year we decided to launch it on the 1st because Thanksgiving's a week late this year.
Yep.
So we started on November 1st, that if you're a member of our loyalty program, you could start collecting your envelopes now all the way up until Black Friday. If you're not in our loyalty program, it's free to join.
Yeah.
The cool thing about our loyalty program is just for joining, we give you something for free. We give you, at Station 51, we give you a free foot-long cheese log, because we do our cheese logs that are foot-long.
Yep.
And then at BBQ Productions, you get a free order of mini nachos. And then on your birthday, we buy you dinner.
That's awesome.
You know, a lot of places you go out to eat, and it's your birthday, you get a free, you know, piece of pie. You get a free nope,
dessert or
nope.
something.
We buy you dinner on your birthday.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, so we're really excited about it. It goes, you know, you collect your envelopes from now until the end of the year. And then starting January 1st, you come back in and redeem them. You open them up at the end of your meal, and you open it up, and if you get 100% off, your food's free. We can't discount alcohol. For our friends at the Illinois Liquor Commissioner, we don't discount alcohol. Not allowed to. So alcohol is not included in the discount because it is a law. You cannot do that.
Yep.
So we only do it on the food. But yeah, you get up to $100 on 100% off if you have that. You get barbecue sauce, dessert. So it's really cool. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Again, another way that you just kind of give back to your customers, and our customers are people that live in our towns. You
Yes.
know? They're our neighbors. They're our, people that we work with, right? People that we went to school with.
My kid plays baseball in the community. Like, you'll see me at the grocery store, and you'll see me at, I buy my cars locally from you guys. I'm not some, big wig, who owns a restaurant, and I'm in California living at my beach house.
Right.
No, my favorite thing to do in the restaurant is wash dishes. So you'll see me washing dishes most nights, at Station 51. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love washing dishes, actually. Like, legit.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so satisfying.
I use a dishwasher. No, there are some things that you obviously can't wash in there, but yeah.
Yeah. There's no joke like, is your wife your dishwasher? No, no, I'm the dishwasher. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I have a dishwasher too, but I still enjoy washing that wand. Like, it is that wand, and I don't have to, the mean people that are out there. I don't have those are the mean people, but yeah. So I love washing dishes.
What's one thing, if you can kind of summarize it, right? One thing that you've learned about yourself.
Ooh.
We got just a few minutes before we get back to the story.
One thing I learned about myself is that
It's a tough one.
it is hard, because while it's hard, it amazes me at the things that I can do with the people that I have. And I have some amazing people that work with me. The other thing that I've learned from the first day that I opened my restaurant to now, I'm a completely different person. So when I first opened, I was pick the word you want to choose. I don't want you to bleep again.
The jerk.
I was. I ran like a Gordon Ramsay. I was terrible. I was a jerk.
Yeah.
And I've really mellowed out. I think having kids has really helped. I love being a dad. I love being called dad.
Shout out. You want to give a shout out?
Yeah, we love my kids, Hunter and Austin. I've been blessed.
Mama Mo.
Mama Mo's my wife. But back to what I was saying is, my staff is everything. You know what I'm saying? And I would not be where I'm at today without the staff that I have or have had in the past. Even people who don't work for me, like if I've had to make the business decision to end the relationship, I've learned from every one of them. I'm grateful for every one of them, and I've learned from every one of them. So that's one thing I'd definitely say.
Cool. Well, we're pulling it now. Kris, I appreciate the time.
Of course, man. Pleasure. Love you,
Always
brother.
good to see you. Love you too.
you.